and gentlemen, and welcome to the round 2 of the ARC Team versus Team League. My name is Lateral Gene. I'm joined in the commentary booth by
Mr. Avaloy, I missed you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm back now, and
This
we
is,
actually
ARC Ruby.
we haven't. Ruby is back in the commentary booth with us
Forgot
for
about
today.
Me.
Good evening, ladies and
I was about
gentlemen.
to introduce you as a special guest.
Oh, I feel very special.
Well, we are here at the Nurburgring for round 2 of the Team versus Team League. All the drivers will be driving the Hyundai Genesis GR3 car today. So before we jump into the track, let's have a look at the points after round 1. So currently, ARC is leading the way with 43 points. DRE in second place with 36. CSX in third with 18. Tied for third place, actually, with GTRT. SAS in 5th place with 5 points. IGTSH in 6th with 4. And GTSV in last with 1 point. That will cover our points for this race. But we're going to jump over to Savloy's track guide, where he'll take you around a lap in Nurburgring.
Second round of the Team versus Team Championship, and we're heading over to Germany at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. Just less than 3.2 miles, 15 corners, and the car they're all racing is the Hyundai Genesis GR3. It's a real old school circuit. There's quite a bit of narrow parts on the track, but it is still a driver's favourite. Let's have a look at a lap around this track in the Hyundai. So this is a lap around this beautiful circuit with me, myself, behind the wheel of the Hyundai. Across the start finish line we go to start our guided lap. Into 5th gear we are now. This bit here is a penalty burn. The second one is later on in the lap. Anyways, first corner is approaching Yokohama, down 4 gears. Nasty bump right there. That will spin the car around if you put on the power a bit too early. Mercedes Arena is approaching turn 2, 2nd gear. Turn 3 is coming right now. It's a very deceiving corner because you need a wide entrance in for a better apex of 4, which is here. Now another short straightaway into 3rd gear, up into 4th. Some drivers will possibly take 5th, but I decided to stay into 4th gear because you go down 1 gear for turn 5 valvulate. Don't use all of the track on the exit, stay in the middle for the right hand forward curve. Now again another short straightaway, up the gears you go. 4th gear, could go up into 5th before braking hard, down 3 gears to turn 7, Dunlop. 65 miles per hour. Use all of the trackers on the exit too. Now we're getting ready for the Schumacher S's, turns 8 and 9. Use the curb on the right hand side to try and go Harry Flatters through there. Again, another short straightaway, preparing ourselves for turn 10 at Ravenel. Brake at the green bit right now, down into 3rd gear, about 73 miles an hour. Some drivers will take turn 11, Bilstein, maybe 3rd gear. Some drivers will take a 2nd gear. This is the second of the last of the penalty burns into Advent Arch. It's just a flat out right-hander. And then this is a great place for everyone to overtake the Rideau chicane, turns 13 and 14. The part of the track that Michael Schumacher even designed. This is turn 13, turn 14, do not shortcut that, it will pick up a hefty penalty. Then we've got the final corner, turn 15, Hyundai is approaching. Again, you can take a wider entry in for the better apex of the turn. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is a lap around the Nurburgring.
Well, thank you, Savloy, for that wonderful track guide. It's good to have those back after being away for 2 weeks.
Well, like I said, I missed you for 2 weeks.
Well, as I said, this is a team versus team event. So let's cover our drivers for today. Representing ARC, we have Dan's and Alex Rogers, 2 of our faster drivers, admittedly. So, ARC not pulling too many stops here today. For IGTSH, we have Ricci and Marco X. For SAS, we have Gedaz and Lunatic Punk. For GTSV, we have Bert Huben, excuse me if I pronounce these names wrong, and Devil Driver, excuse me.
Devil Driver.
I'm reading the font's a little hard to read on the image I have.
Yeah, change the font, whoever that is.
For CSX or Cosmic Esports, we have Klein. and Isaac. For GTRT, we have Roman Hood and Vantage. And for DRE, we have Geronimo and Bembag. Those are your drivers here for today. We're just going to wait for qualifying to get started here to bring you some of the action. But what do you think is going to happen here today, Savo? After what we saw at the first round with the DRE driver battling back and forth, not having too much, not having a clean race, some would say. Not that they were banging doors a lot, but they weren't trying to break away as much, and Ark having a bit of comeback, and then the midfield pack was a really interesting battle. What do you think is going to happen here today on Nurburgring?
Well, first of all, you said it there. I want to see the DRE boys working together instead of battling against each other, because that's what cost them the win. They like I said in the Fuji race, they shot themselves in the foot. ARC drivers, we know how fast Dan's and Alex is. You know, Alex has recently won the GR3 championship when he won 5 out of 6 races, and Dan's a season 1 champion, so we know what to expect from them. The midfield battle, I'd like to see SES do well, because we've got Lunatic Punk in here, and we see them do the practice race at St. Croix, and he had glimpses of brilliance in that race, but then he come across some little mistakes here and there, and it's what ultimately cost him. So I'd expect him to do well around here. I don't know what Gadaz is like. To be honest, I've not seen him or anything like that, to be honest with you. The other drivers, Roman Hood, Vantage, I think is that the team that's last in the points? GTRT?
GTSV is last in points.
Oh, GTSV, okay. So GTSV, they need to get a good race going, and I think they'll probably do well with Bert and Devil Driver, although I don't know if you've mentioned that Bert's got to take a free grid place penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I think, did you cover that?
We did not cover that yet, no.
Oh, we didn't cover it on it. Okay, so yeah, GTSV needs to, get a really good championship, because they're already lagging way behind in the points. As for Cosmic and for SAS 2, their teams need to get going too, because you see there's already a bit of a gap between DRE to the team in 3rd place. I think it's like nearly double the points. So yeah, I think this should be an entertaining race. Should be nose to tail throughout. Lots of overtakes around this gorgeous racetrack. And we'll see what happens.
Well, another thing we do have yet to mention, for this race only one set of softs is available for use in the race. In qualifying, you can use as many set of the softs as you want, but in the race, you're only allowed to have that one set of the soft tire. And Nurburgring is a lot more of a technical track. You have the Mercedes Arena, you have the Vidal Chicane, you have the hairpin there. So you're going to be using a lot of those tires, so we could really see when they use that soft tire, whether it's at the start to gain positions or trying to claw back time when other drivers are on the mediums. It's going to be really important here versus some other tracks.
Yeah, so tire wear is obviously critical around here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Now, Ruby, you are here with us. So what do you think is possibly some of the more dominant strategies for this track in terms of tire wear and fuel?
Well, I think that's difficult to determine up front. I know a lot of teams with a lot of practice, and as you mentioned, it's really important that soft stint, you have to take everything out of it, because you only have one set, of course, so you have to make the most use out of it. I think that will be the most crucial part of the whole race. Like, when do you take the softs? Will you have traffic? Well, hopefully not, of course, because if you have free air, you'll be a lot faster. So I think it will come down to that. It will balance between the 2 and the 3 stop, I imagine. Being the 3 stop, let's say, a little bit more safe, because you can use more of the tires. You can go a little bit more aggressive on the driving itself. So it will be interesting to see. The 3 stop will also get more traffic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it should be definitely an interesting race if the first round was anything to go by. Another thing I do want to bring up is, as again, in the TvT regulations, every driver is in the same car, tuning is off, so it's a even playing field across all the drivers. Now, you do have a bit of experience in the Hyundai Genesis, because I believe it was the car that was mandated for use in the time trial for, I believe it was Season 3 or Season 2. I'm not quite sure. Season 2. So can you give us a bit of what it's like to drive the car around a more technical track like this?
Well, rather difficult, I must say. I also drove it against the TvT versus Chef, which was on Catalunya, which is also more of a technical track. But the car is more understeery. They say you have to coast a lot through the corners, and as you mentioned, it can take a lot of degradation of those tires. So on this technical circuit, it'll definitely be a big deal if you take too much out of it. But it's basically a light car, little understeery, and the acceleration. It's not like the back spins out every corner, but you have to be careful anyway. But I think it's a fun car overall. It's decent, yeah.
All right, well, we're just waiting for our last of our stuck checks, and it does look like everyone's underway, so qualifying should be able to get started here just momentarily, so that's going to be good for everyone watching. We know, thank you for bearing with us for these few short moments, though. It's going to be hard to say who's going to come out on top for me, though, if I had to try and pick a winner. We know Ark is strong. They're leading the championship. We have Dan's and Alex Rogers in it, who are some of our better drivers. But looking at the practice times that we happened to see before the stream, CSX seems to be coming out swinging for this race. They definitely were in the top 5, so they could be the ones to watch out for in this race. And we do...
Yeah, and also IGTSH. I think they were quick in practice too.
Okay.
I think they were like first and second before they were doing the stock checks.
So we are getting the notification that qualifying will start in 4 minutes now. The stuck check has gotten underway. But another thing we do know, a team that's not quite prepared for this event was DRE. We did get word that they were planning on this race happening on the 26th instead of the 16th. A bit of a typo there. So a bit of a scramble for them to try and get a strategy sorted out for this race.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's not like a cause for concern. I think Geronimo and the Ben Bag will know what they're doing. Hopefully they've been told to work together and not battle each other. But we'll see how they'll do. I think they'll be fine anyways.
Well, one thing we'll be sure we will find out when the race comes. Should be roughly 3 to 4 minutes until qualifying starts. And I can't think of much else to cover before then. Can you guys?
I'm trying to think.
Maybe we can keep on talking. We can just talk ages about racing. It's our favorite hobby, but we're all set.
Well, it should be an interesting race. If the race, I think it was season 1 in our GR3 championship, we had this race here. And it was actually a pretty good race around here. If I remember correctly, I think it was one of the leaders, I think, had a disconnect in that race, and that kind of threw open, or one of the podium sitters.
I think this was also the debut race that we saw Chile.
I think it might have been too.
You know?
There was a few sub-ins in that race. I think Dan's had a good comeback to make the 3rd place in the RCF.
You say that the person who strolled away to victory is in the commentating booth here, and that's just Beetle, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Ruby's favorite car, the Volkswagen Beetle. It did win the championship in season 3, so it's a strong car.
Yeah, this time it was driven by a strong racer as well, instead of me driving it in season 1 and season 2. So that's probably why it got the victory.
Well, mind you, I think you did win it by about 15 seconds. I can't remember who finished second. I'm trying to think about who it was, but I know for a fact that both myself and Alex didn't race there because I think I remember now. I think it was Dan's that finished second, or someone else finished second. I think it was. Oh, was it Kev? Was it Kev?
It might have been Kev, but I think I remember now. It was Matt Wing, the 3rd place in the AMG actually. That got
in Red Bull Ring.
No, it was here at Nurburgring. There was an SLS on the podium. I remember that.
Matt? No, it wasn't AMG. Yeah, it was Matt. It was DEFCON, I think.
Oh yeah, DEFCON.
No, DEFCON was second. DEFCON was second, and Matt Wing was 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're about to get qualifying underway, and I did just remember one thing to mention. If you do want to support ARC, we do now have a merch store over on teespring.com. I believe it's /Adrenaline Racing Community. If that's correct. We have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we have stickers. I'm not quite sure if we have a mug available on there. But we do have a mug. Definitely. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So if you want to help support ARC and the what we do here, feel free to head over there and buy some merch. A lot of people have already bought merch. The quality of the shirts, I bought a hoodie and a t-shirt. They both arrived. The quality is amazing. They look great. They feel great. They're comfortable. So feel free to head over there and have a look at those if you're interested. But we're going to jump into qualifying here as the drivers are starting to head out on track, and it looks to be Bertuben for the, make sure I get my teams right here, for GTSV leading the way here on the outlap. So there you can see.
Right then, should we do like a livery check?
That's what I was
Fellow
just.
Belgium.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah. So there you see the GTSV livery. That's actually that's pretty
Not bad,
cool.
eh?
It's just
I
solid.
think they kept the red rim on the front and the black on the back rim. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's different. And the CSX, the typical white and light blue.
It's pretty much the same livery that what they had in Fuji, wasn't it?
It's very similar, but still clean looking across the board. And then we have Arc with typical black, white, and orange look.
Who did that again? Was that Darryl or was it Marvelous? I can't mind.
I think it was Daryl.
Yeah, I do think it was Daryl. I do like how it kind of looks like it has that Damascus steel look on the white. That's super clean, I have to admit. Like when you get so up close to the
Something
side,
I noticed
you can see
by looking at it, yeah, on the side you see the flag on the back window, which I think is a neat detail. Very well done, Daryl.
Then we have Lunatic Punk for SAS in their blue and lime green. Ooh, a little bit of a brake stuck check going there. Some drivers trying to make a bit of a gap, it looked like. Going off to the side.
This is Italian Grand Prix, isn't it?
So you see the Lunatic Punk, the SAS livery. Let's go over to, there's a GTRT driver there in their lime green car.
Oh, that's nice.
I think that was the same team that had like a green livery and then a red livery, wasn't
I
it?
believe so, yes. They have multiple different car liveries, and if you were to look at Vantage in 12, he does have an orange version of it.
Yep.
Like a darky orange brown. Yeah, not bad.
So I haven't looked at IGTSH. Oh, Marco already going in. He started on the mediums. That's a bit of a... So he's going back to the soft tires for qualifying. He forgot to switch those tires, but going to get those on. And there you can see the IGTSH car, silver, blue, but you still have the Hungarian flag stripe over the running the length of the car.
I know that livery kind of reminds me of the old Peugeot when they were in the rally.
Yeah, the 206, yes.
Yeah.
That was everyone, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we missed DRE, but I think they've got the same livery from Fuji.
Let's see if I can find a DRE here, somewhere around here. Let's see if I can find them. There we go.
Somewhere around the front.
There's Ben Bag.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Okay.
Gray, orange.
With the Dutch flag, I'm pretty sure. Make sure I get my flags right.
Isn't that French? Should
Might
be
be
careful with what I
Luxembourg.
say, huh? Oh.
But this is a flying lap for a lot of the drivers, so let's see what Bertuben can do. The first driver to cross the line will be the first one to set a flying lap. 15-minute qualifying session here as he heads through the Vidal chicane.
Don't forget, Bert's got to take a free grid place penalty. Don't forget. Using all of the curb, going in a high and high.
Let's see what he can do as he comes up to the line. It's going to be a 156.4, so we'll see where the rest of that stacks up. Let's see where Klein comes up. Both the CSX drivers seem to be sticking together. He's going to go to the top with a 157.3, and his teammate will be even better with 57 flat. We'll see what Ricci can do for IGTSH as he rounds the last corner now. Uses all the runoff to try and carry as much speed down the front straight. Let's see if it'll actually... No, that's an outlap because he made the pit stop for the softs, excuse me. We have Ben back. Both DRE drivers still working together. They're going to go top 5. Let's see what Let's see if he can... Excuse me, GTS Sport can be a little weird at times trying to find the right driver you want to see. Let's see if we can find the Argo drivers, actually. Actually got the way back. Here's Dan's. Alex Rogers just ahead of him in 12th place. Let's see what they can do on their first flying lap. Actually getting on the brakes a little bit. Aborting this lap? I'm not quite sure. I saw the taillights come on. Yeah, it's a 230 from Alex, so... Oh, he's doing a lot of fuel burning. That's what he's doing.
Fuel burning. Yeah, definitely.
I think Lunatic Punk knows what the idea they're doing is. He's trying to do the exact same thing as what Alex and Dan's are doing.
Yeah, so we can see 3 drivers doing a bit of fuel burning. Let's see. I want to see another driver that happens to be in the Mercedes arena. See if he's also fuel burning. behind him here. There we go. No, it's Devil Driver. He's not really fuel burning. He's giving it all he's got. That's the other GTSV driver. I like the lime green on the window, on the door mirrors, though. I like that.
Yep.
Obviously, just lets you know a different driver, isn't it?
So currently, a third of the way, 6 minutes through this qualifying session. Isaac currently leads the way with his teammate behind him in second. Vantage in third for GTRT. And Bertuben for GTSV in fourth. But again, 3-place grid penalty for him to be served. Roman Hood in fifth, who's going to be improving a little bit. Looks to be by 2/10. Double Driver in sixth. Ben Bag seventh. Giorgio eighth. Lunatic Punk in ninth, but he's yet to set a proper qualifying lap as he's fuel burning. With Alex Rogers and Dan's behind him, also fuel burning. And then we have Ricci, who is now going to set his first flying lap here with his, because he made a pit stop for the first lap. And yeah, he goes pole. It's a good lap from an IGTSH driver, goes provisional pole and without a draft.
That's a very solid lap time for Victor. I think all the other drivers were doing in the 56 in practice, so he's Richie's absolutely
and his
smashed it.
teammate goes second as well, so IGTSH comes out swinging here at Nurburgring.
I bet they, well, I think Fuji was kind of, yeah, what they didn't expect to finish so low. So I think they really
they had one of their drivers smack out rage quit as well, didn't they? That team.
Yeah, I think one had an internet connection problem or a brake problem, I think. So he had to retire in the end, indeed. But that's a good motivation to, to practice for this race.
Yeah, so they definitely need to make up some points if they still want to be in contention for this championship. And we still see Alex Rogers and Lunatic Punk doing a bit of fuel burning. Let's go on board Lunatic Punk. If he's not going to continue fuel burning, which looks like Alex Rogers is. So it looks like Alex really just wants that one flying lap.
It's a bit of a big gamble.
Yeah, that is quite a big gamble. I mean, looking at the clock, there's already halfway through the session, and I mean, it's for them it's taking about 2 minutes 30 seconds a lap. So they could possibly do maybe at least 2 laps maximum if they still keep fuel saving or burning fuel. Sorry.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe fuel wear is only on. It's either 2 times or 4 times for fuel wear. So even if he fuel burns an entire session, it's only going to get to around 25% of a tank.
See if it works though. I'm not sure on this idea.
Is Dan still doing a bit of fuel burning, or is he giving it? No, he's still
no in 7 minutes.
He's still burning fuel, yeah. Still burning fuel.
Back at the front, Ricci leads the way ahead of Marco, his teammate, in second. And then CSX in third and fourth. The Bertuben in fifth for GTSV. Geronimo in sixth. GTRT Vantage in seventh. His teammate in eighth. Actually, no, Gadaz jumps up to ninth. So he gets a solid lap in. Then we have Devil Driver in 10th, Bembag 11th, Lunatic Punk in 12th, but he's on a flying lap now, so let's see what he can do and improve. We're back on board him. A little bit wide through there, that's going to cost them into the gravel trap, but holds it.
Yeah.
So let's see what he can do. Probably going to be in a port of that, maybe make a pit stop and a new set of tires on as he heads up to the Vidal chicane. A lot of the curb, that's good.
It's fine, yeah.
Back into
Obviously
fuel
the
burning.
bollard.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good in.
He's retiring his lap, yeah.
So I still
I
wanna
got a
see-
question from in the chat what the penalties are. So you said that one guy from GTSV, I think, has to do a penalty. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there any other penalties, or is that the only one?
That is the only penalty to be served for this race, but there was another penalty served post-race for the first round, but it was, I believe, a 10 or 20-second time penalty that was served post-race. So there's only one position penalty for this race. Again, 9 to almost 10 minutes left on the clock. They're only really going to get time for one lap here.
5 minutes left there, lateral, but yeah, I'm not sure on the strategy from what Dan's. I mean, they may fool us and stick it on the like on the front row, but I really don't know about the strategy.
Like, even if they do go for the lap, his tires are worn. He's going to need to make a pit stop like his teammate Alex Rogers is right now. So this is going to be an out lap. They're only going to get the one lap.
Oh, they better make it a good one. That's all I'm going to say about that.
They're
gonna have to.
You can do two. They'll be able to do too.
Also, what I've noticed too is what we saw in the qualifying when Chile and Nagati, they were working together. There's a bit of a distance between Alex and Dan's here. In fact, Dan's in the pits now.
Although, in fairness, I would think that the drafting strategy would be more effective at Fuji with the super long straightaway.
Oh, with the super long, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's see. He's still doing a bit of fuel burning, so he really only wants one lap. That's confidence in your abilities. I can't tell if that's actually confidence or cockiness from Alex Rogers. Still Reach A leading the way for IGTSH 1 and 2, CSX 3 and 4. Actually, was that a purple from Isaac? It might have been. I just heard the sound, but I didn't quite tell who said it.
He's going to get some good help though off his teammate if he'd let him by after Bullstein. And then it's there for Nash. He's purple, so he should let Clancy should let Isaac by now.
He's still trying to get as much of the draft as he can here. Not too much dirty air, but he's breaking way late. Ooh, Clancy getting real sideways though.
That could cost him pole position right there.
He's gonna go off of the way. He's gonna let him through. Late apex, wide on the exit.
Is it too late? Let's see.
Get checked up on the throttle. I don't think he's gonna get it. Not quite.
No, he didn't. And that mistake from Clancy at the Vito chicane there has basically cost Isaac there. Clancy should have moved out of the way for Isaac to get by it so he can get a clean one at the Vito hairpin, and that was pole position.
It would have been, but he does manage to split both the GTSH drivers. Back to see what Arc is doing. Alex Rogers is going to start his first flying lap, and he just might get enough time to start one more after this.
Yeah, I think calculate.
1 minute 55, yeah.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Let's see what he
I'm not sure on Dan's though. If he will have 2 laps in.
Currently 31 seconds off pole, but they haven't set a proper flying lap. Goes through the Mercedes Arena, Season 3 champion. Let's see what he can do as he exits the arena. Well, but wide on exits. Be careful not to pick up a penalty. That would ruin his lap here. But he is purple up by 2/10.
Hi, Merman.
Chuck Eden back on wide using all the AstroTurf, not going too wide as they go into the gravel trap.
Scott Ritchie just ahead of him, going into Dunlop.
That is the current pole sitter driver in front of him, as you just mentioned. At the exit of the Dunlop hairpin, careful not to go too wide on the exit. He's up by 3/10.
Faster.
Schumacher S.
Schumacher S's. Nice and tidy.
Just at the AstroTurf, now through Avenel. Still nice and tidy.
It stays in 3rd gear. I went down 2nd gear on the guided lap. He's half a second quicker.
I can feel the tension through the mic. Everybody's quiet.
I can feel it in my underwear.
But you could throw it away here through the Vidal chicane. Might have taken just a bit too much curve.
That was not nice through Vito. That will cost him a few temps here and there.
See what he can do.
Would it be a low 154?
Ooh.
Oh wow, 154.4.
Let's see what Dan's can do. He did lose 3/10 in the chicane. So let's see what Dan's can do. Will he improve? IGTSH will improve to 2nd and 3rd temporarily if Dan's will beat them to the line. He doesn't. He goes 3rd. So IGTSH splits the ARC drivers with CS6 and 5th and 6th as there's only 20 seconds left in the session. But they have one more lap. They can still improve.
Lunatic Punk's got up to 7th.
Maybe we should have given our driver a little bit more leeway. They were fuel burning, but I think they knew what they were doing before. I think that was calculated.
Alright, quality now over. We have the notification, so the first driver to cross the line. Let's see if I can find him here as he heads up to the last corner.
It was Geronimo. It was Geronimo that was the last guy across the line.
Speaking of Geronimo, he's going to abort this lap, so he's done qualifying. Let's see who's this. Will Lunatic Punk improve? He will improve to 6th place, so he manages to go up a position. So Lunatic Punk's qualifying is over. Let's see if we can find this other group of drivers heading up to the chicane here. So it looks to be Isaac in front of him, but he's got a 0.4 second penalty. Burning it through a bit of the corner there. Stewards aren't necessarily going to like that, but I think it's going to be a board lap regardless. So we'll see what Bert Hoopen can improve from his 8th place, and behind him, I believe that is the other CSX driver. So Isaac will not improve. Bert will not improve, and behind him, Kleinsky will not improve from his 7th place. So their qualifying is done. Looking farther back here, see what these drivers coming up here. See if I can find him. Here we go. It's Alex Rogers. Will he improve on this lap? Currently provisional pole. Behind him looks to be one of the IGTSH drivers now. He does not improve. The Ravany doesn't improve. Will Dan's improve here as he heads up to the line?
Get in, Danny.
See Benbag in front of him in 12. Will Benbag improve? He will not. Dan's will go second.
Damn!
Oh, ARC 1, 2, 8, IGTSH 3, 4.
And then behind them, the last driver to cross the line. It was an SAS driver, so now everyone has crossed the line. Let's have a look at our live timing here. So it will be ARC 1, 2. Alex Rogers on pole with a 54.4. Dan's in second with a 54.5. Then IGTSH in third and fourth, 54.6 and 54.9. CSX in fifth with Isaac. Lunatic Punk in sixth, splitting the CSX drivers in 6th place for SAS. Kleinsky, and 7th. Bertuben in 8th. Geronimo 9th. Advantage in 10th. Roman Hood in 11th. Benbag 12th. Gedad is 13th. And Devil Driver in 14th. But remember, Bertuben does have a 3-place penalty, so that'll put him down 1, 2, so around 12th, 11th, I believe. 12th?
3 good place, but that'll put him 11th.
11th, yes. So he'll go down to 11th, so these 3 drivers here will move up 1 position each. And that is our qualifying, gentlemen.
Well, I didn't expect that strategy to work there, I have to say. So, my apologies to Alex and Dan. They knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they did.
I can tell you. Yeah,
in
they did,
fairness to them, they did. We were a little bit on the edge of our seat whether or not they were going to make it or not, but fair play. ARC 1 and 2, yet again, I believe they were 1 and 2 at Fuji, were we not?
Yes, they were.
So ARC still coming out strong, but IGTSH, a fair upset from them to go 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, that's a big shout out to them as well. They did their practice this time and they weren't surprised by our pace. So it's good to see that they take it seriously.
And they do need the points. They're currently sitting 2nd last with only 4 points in the championship. So having 2 drivers in the top 5 gives them a good opportunity at having that good finish. So they definitely need those points. But another upset would be the DRE drivers. We have Benbag down in 11th, and make sure I get the other driver's name right here. Geronimo. He did happen to leave. He's back now, so he's just resetting his cash. So his time isn't quite on the board, but I don't think he was in the top 5 after what the strong race that we saw from both those drivers at Fuji. It's going to be hard for them at this point to keep that position in the championship.
Yeah, I mean, they look solid in 2nd place. Like I said, they've got like a double point advantage over the team that's in 3rd. But they've obviously come into this race with not a lot of practicing because, as you said earlier, they thought this race would be on the 26th rather than be on the 16th. So they're a little bit out at the moment. But it's a 1 hour race. Anything can happen. They can improve on where they are.
Mm-hmm. Definitely true. Another surprise I'm gonna have to admit is CSX. They were up there for a good bit. They happen to be split on the grid by Lunatic Punk, the Brazilian driver. But Isaac and Kleinsky doing a pretty solid job in 5th and 7th place.
You want about the CSX? Yeah. You were saying that before I rudely interrupted you before qualifying started. You were saying that the CSX boys were looking really good in practice. So yeah, I mean, for them to be 5th and 7th, they'll be a little bit disappointed, but come race time, I think they'll be a threat.
That's definitely true, and strategy will play into things. But they're currently third in the championship with 18 points. So if they could still get another good top 5 finish, should anything happen, or with strategy, they could easily take the second place from DRE, if not be challenging ARC should they have a bad race, for potential lead in the championship.
That is true. That's the beauty about this league, in my opinion, is that everybody's battling, with equal weapons, and that means that everything can happen. Like Savvy said, like it's an hour race. So curious to see what's gonna happen. Can't wait.
It will definitely be interesting, and it'll be also interesting to see who starts on the softs and on the mediums, because remember, only one set of soft tires are allowed for this race, and it is a 1-hour race at Nurburgring. So we're expecting a 2 to 3 stop strategy, most likely a 3 stop, I would think.
If you want to be safe, yeah, I think a 3-stop is better, because you don't have to worry as much. You don't have to look after the tires as much as you do in a 2-stop, and then it gets a little bit slippy and slidey when the tires get worn, so it becomes difficult to defend your position. But yeah, who knows? If you do a 2-stop, that means you also get less traffic on the way. So that means that you got a little bit more free air. So maybe that plays more of an advantage than the fresher tires does. Yeah, difficult to say.
Well, if I had to predict the winner for here at Nurburgring, that's a hard one. It's a hard one.
That's a long pause.
Come on, follow me, lad, or just sit on the fence for me. Come on.
It does look like we have one stuck driver after Geronimo left and rejoined. He does seem to be stuck on the grid, so hopefully we can get that resolved and get the race underway here momentarily. But if I had to pick a winner for this race,
I've got a space in the fence for you.
It's difficult. It's a difficult pick.
you know what?
It's hard to pick,
I'm gonna go with a bit of a curveball. I'm gonna give it to Ricci.
Ooh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
definitely possible. I mean, he is third on the grid, third or fourth, I'm assuming.
I think he's third.
Third.
Yeah, so he is able to save that fuel by being in the slipstream, short shifting a little, which gives you the advantage going into the pit stop. And then, you might take a little advantage over the other guy who was in the lead. Another thing to think about while in the race. There's so many things to think about. It's insane.
I mean, as long as this GTSH drivers, GTSH, excuse me, don't fight each other like DRE did, they could easily take the win. I still think DRE could have had the win at Fuji had they not kept passing each other back and forth. That they definitely had that race in the bag, especially after Chili's spin, and he managed to claw his way back because they kept fighting. And Nugatti, after coming out after his pit stop into traffic, like DRE had that race in the bag, and to be brutally honest, they threw it away.
Yeah. But that was last month. This is tonight. Everything, this is a different ball game. So we're just hoping we're getting this 1-hour race underway and see what will happen throughout this endurance race tonight.
That we do. So just going to wait for Geronimo. Am I even pronouncing that right? Is it Geronimo?
Geronimo.
Is it Geronimo?
Geronimo.
Okay.
Geronimo. Wait.
No, Geronimo.
No, it's Geronimo. Ninmo. It's in his name with the 2 N's. Really?
Has he got two M's?
No, there's only one M. There's one M.
Yeah, it's Geronimo. It's not Finding Nemo, it's Geronimo.
Geronimo.
Yeah, Geronimo.
See, there's an N before in front of that M, so it's Ninmo.
No, it's Geronimo. Geronimo.
Wait. Okay. Well, maybe, I just can't read. What the hell?
That he has
What a
rejoined.
discussion, ladies and gentlemen. We should talk about the race. No, we're discussing somebody's name.
But he has rejoined the lobby, so he's going to do another stuck check. Hopefully he's not stuck this time around. We'll get the race started and underway. But I'm gonna have a look at our next round so we can get a little bit of a hype going for next month here. If I can find the sheet here, excuse me.
Oh yeah, I can already tell you what round it'll be.
It is
Dun.
Catalonia in the
Alright.
Ferrari.
Yes, that is correct. Catalunya
Yes.
in the Ferrari. That'll be happening on the 15th
That's a
of
lot.
March. That one should actually be pretty interesting. I have a fair bit of experience driving the 458 Italia, and I can tell you from experience that thing is very tail happy.
That's
And
a handful, I can tell you.
Yeah,
I have been doing some laps. It's a handful.
And on
Yeah, even that.
and on track like Catalunya with that third sector. Ooh.
Especially the chicane as well. Oh no.
And
That's,
if the rule, if only one set of softs, you can only use one set of softs.
Yep.
That stint on the medium is whew.
good luck to those
Multiple
drivers that are
stints on
going
the
to be in it.
mediums.
And then you get to factor in tire. It's going to be a crazy race. I would expect to see a few spins come round 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait.
But as you mentioned, we are here today. So once again, just a one stuck check getting underway, making sure Geronimo will get off the line cleanly. All 14 drivers are on track, so a full grid here. So what you say you're sitting on the fence, Savoy, about who's going to win.
And I'm staying on that fence.
What about you, Ruby?
Well, I'm not sitting on a fence. Let me tell you that hurts my bum. No, well, it's going to be difficult. Of course, I want to cheer on my teammates, Dan and Alex, and I think they're very capable drivers as well. But I think IGT, SH, and CSX are going to make life difficult for us, or at least try everything in their capabilities to make life difficult for us. So it's not given yet who is going to win, and I think. As I mentioned before, that soft stint is going to make a huge amount of difference. And picking up penalties at the chicane as well, I think that's going to be a race definer.
Mm-hmm. Just looking at this stuck check, I know some of the drivers do a little bit of open lobby driving, if to put it nicely, when doing stuck checks. Here's looking at you, PK. But I do see a little bit of bumping and driving going on, and this is a very tight first sector, especially after the start race. It's a very acute angle corner, Yokohama, and then you have the Mercedes Arena. So I wouldn't be surprised there's a bit of bumping and rubbing and maybe a bit of spinning going on come the start of the race.
Dive bomb.
Yeah, there'll be some dive bombs in the tail one, no doubt.
But the stuck check was underway successfully, so the race should be getting started here momentarily. Just gonna wait for it to start here, and we're gonna jump over, but it's gonna be real close one. It's gonna be real interesting. It looks like a lot of drivers are actually starting on the medium tire, but it looks like Dan's and Alex Rogers starting on the soft, so looks like they really want to try and build that gap immediately. It looks like Geronimo starting on the soft tires. Everyone else seems to be starting on the medium. So Arc starting on the softs and one DRE, actually both DRE drivers. So it's just Arc and DRE starting on the soft tires for this race.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just got to say this one thing. 11. I'm sorry. Just saw everybody typing it in the chat. So
I never understand the 11 joke. What is that all about?
Well, it's a Scottish joke basically. You're Scottish, right? Isn't that right, Stable?
No, I'm British, not Scottish.
Oh.
I was born in England.
No, well, yeah. Where does it come from? I think somebody showed us a video in 2 Scottish people in a voice-controlled elevator, and they had to go to floor 11.
I think I know what
right?
you're on about.
I think everybody saw that.
11.
11, right? So, see, the chat is lighting up with 11. It's insane how this grew. It's so funny.
Right, but the race is now getting underway. Once again on the start grid, 1 and 2 is ARC, with Alex Rogers and Dan's IGTSA, 3 and 4 CSX, 5th and 7th split by Lunatic Punk for SAS, Bert in 8th, 9th. We have Geronimo, Vantage in 10th, Roman Hood 11th, and Bembag 12th, and Gadaz 13th, with Double Driver in 14th. Let's see what happens at the front of the grid as the lights start to come on. 3 lights, 4 lights now. And we're underway. The green lights are on. Alex Rogers seems to get away fairly strong. On board with him, looking back behind him. We can see Riche getting a fairly solid start. Let's see if there's any contact going into turn 1 here. Any late breaks, any dive bombs? Doesn't look like it. Fairly clean, but 3 wide though for 5th place there. We see almost 4 wide now as they enter the Mercedes arena, but still fairly clean throughout the rest of the field. We see a lot of battling back and forth. A little bit of a bump there between Lunatic Punk and I'm not quite sure. It looked like one of the IGTSH drivers. See everyone just trying to get. Ooh, Lunatic Punk almost spins, but there's a spin there for a Bert. Excuse me, I want to see the Bertmeister. See if I can. Bert Tubin.
So it's got a penalty.
Let's get a replay of what happened here. I think he just got, on the exit here, he just got on the grass, on the throttle, on the AstroTurf, and spins the car around right in front of, I believe that was the DRE driver.
That was Bembag, and I think he might have got a penalty as a result, which would be quite harsh because Bert spun into him.
But, yeah. So he does have a 7-second penalty from that, but due to the, in fairness, GT Sport being kind of broken with how the penalties work, you are not to serve penalties for contact.
Oh, one of the CSX drivers had a problem, I think.
There's another penalty there in front of. Oh, behind.
I think.
I don't see another spin driver.
Oh no, my problem. Okay.
But I do see CSX Isaac in front with a 4-second penalty. But as I was saying, the drivers were told not to serve penalties for contact, only serve penalties for shortcuts.
Yeah, Clancy, he was down in 13th. He was up in the top 10. Bembag!
With a dive bomb.
Massive dive bomb.
That was a huge dive bomb, and I think the guy that he passed, their Vantage, may have lost another spot because I think that was Lunatic.
Too far.
But that was, well, he does have the soft tires, so he tried to use the advantage of the soft tires to get the brakes, and he does lose another position, but that's going to cause Lunatic Punk to go wide, and we concede the position. So a few penalties going on there, but again, contact penalties are not to be served due to GT Sports penalties being kind of broken.
Oh, Isaac nearly went deep at Yokohama and nearly got to the back of Geronimo.
And this is what we were saying earlier about the mid-pack battle going to be so close. You could see the 6 drivers behind battling for just 8th place. As we see Bembag trying to find his way by Isaac through the exit of Mercedes arena, not quite able to get it done. Tries to go on the outside, but he might actually get a penalty for that. That might be shortcutting the track. Will he pick up a penalty for that? He won't, but Isaac will. That's GT Sport being GT Sport for you, ladies and gentlemen. But Bembag's on a drive here to try and get as many positions as he can. But once again, both the area drivers on the soft tires to start this race.
We have lost Clancy from CSX because he didn't qualify. I think he was in 5th or 7th. Yeah, he's down in 10th now. So he had I knew I did see the guy slowing, and I couldn't mind if it was a CSX driver or someone else. But Clancy's lost a few spots.
Maybe he burned the penalty.
It's possible. It's possible to burn the penalty, but it also seems to be struggling with the rear end of that car. It seems to be sliding it a lot, so it may have had a big moment, as Savoy did mention. Back at the front of the field, though, it's ARC 1-2, and they have a sizable gap over Riche in 3rd place. 2.3 seconds now, but Riche almost 5 seconds to GRE Geronimo, as we see his teammate behind him trying to find a way by Marco. Dive bombed again into the chicane, side by side. A little bit of contact, but he has to back out of it. Almost 3 wide there in the last corner. It looked like they were going for a second. Isaac go in, bit of contact there. And we see Bembag trying to capitalize on it. So Marco loses almost 2-3 positions due to the contact in the last corner there.
Yeah, Marco's lost 4 spots as a result as we go on board with Marco, but it's a battle going up ahead. It's the Isaac and Bembag going at it for 5th.
Oh, contact there from Vantage.
Oh, man.
That's Vantage with the dive bomb trying to take 2 positions in 1 corner, and that's not going to work. He concedes the position, but that's going to happen right in front of Clancy. So he's going to get a bit of a punt there. The stewards are going to have a handful with this one.
First couple of
Only
laps,
3 laps in.
I wanted to say the start was very clean and I was like surprised, but now I see this, I think everybody held themselves in until, you know, the end of lap 1, and then it just blew up.
You see both the area drivers have worked their way up into 4th and 5th. So those soft tires definitely showing their advantage early on. 5 minutes into this race, and they've already climbed up. I think one driver, it was Bembach from 13th, is now in 5th in 5 minutes.
I think he was 11th.
11th, okay. But he was still like outside the top 10. But now he's up in the top 5, which is, you can just see how much of an advantage those soft tires give you. And you're only allowed that one set, so whether or not using the set this early to gain that position and try to hold on to it throughout the rest of the race is that's a smart decision. We'll have yet to find out, but can't say it hasn't worked for them so far.
I think it's a good thing that Alex and Dan's ARC boys, they started on the softs because they are able to pull that gap now, and they are not mixed in these heavy battles and sometimes even a little dirty battles, let's say. It's a good thing.
Isaac
for
misses the chicane. Isaac misses the chicane. As we see, the Lunatic Punk have a big moment there, so Isaac misses chicane, loses one position because of it. But it looks like Bembag also picked up another penalty, but I'm not quite sure if that was from a corner cut or contact. Still has 8.8, so I think it was from a bit earlier, so I don't think that was from a corner cut.
Yeah, it might have been from a lap ago at the Vito.
He has to be careful not to take out his teammate in front of him there with the dive bomb into turn 1. Everyone all this shuffling for position. Real racy for that 7th spot now. Clancy looks to be faster than Isaac, it seems. Closing up the gap. Isaac at the big moment. Clancy has to be careful not to pick up a penalty going too wide at the exit there.
Yeah, what, they're cutting it very fine on the exit of 4.
That they are. But in fairness, I don't think anyone's gotten a penalty from it just yet. Looking farther on back in the field here. Let's see if we can find a Yusika Daz and Devil Driver battling for that 12th spot as they head into the Dunlop hairpin. Driver going for a later apex. Daz trying to go for a double apex. The 2 different lines to that corner. In space we have GTRT Roman Hood. Vantage in front of him. Lunatic Punk going side by side with Clancy there, a bit racy. Trail's trying to find his way by. Clancy gets the better run into that corner, but now Lunatic Punk will have the draft. Will he go for the late dive bomb? I think he's a bit too far back for it. He breaks a bit later, so he might... No, not quite close enough.
I think patience is the game at this point in the race. People should just get into the rhythm, maybe save some fuel if they're stuck behind somebody, and then finish it in the later stints of the race because it is still 50 minutes to go. People are trying to make up so many places right now.
Ooh, as we see some action going on at the front there. Bembag going defensive over the IGTSH driver of Marco X, but he goes wide on the exit. That's going to cost him his run there. We look back behind him as we see a train of cars now looking to try and find a way by. Bembag going super defensive, trying to let his teammate build that gap in Geronimo ahead of him. So a bit of a different play from the DRE drivers this time around. Instead of fighting for position, it seems they have the one defensive driver and the other driver trying to catch the cars in front of him. So a bit more strategy from this time around.
Can we get some intel on which tires Ricci and Geronimo are?
Let's see. We have
Geronimo's on the
mediums.
softs.
Ricci's on the
Both the DRE drivers are on softs and ARC drivers. So only ARC and DRE on softs.
Yeah. Thanks.
See ARC 1-2 breaking away from Ricci at a gap now 4.5. Actually, isn't a good time there. But this is key because Ricci, as we mentioned, he's on the mediums. He's not on the softs, and he's kind of doing his best that he can. Within 10 minutes, they've only gained 5 seconds on him. So when Ricci goes to the soft tires and he gets clean air after his pit stop, that's going to be a lot of time for him to gain.
Yeah, it will be. I think your prediction could be right here in Lateral.
We have Geronimo in 4th. This battle for 5th place going on behind him. You can see it looks like Moon the CS driver trying to go inside of his teammate, not quite close enough. It's quite the battle for 5th place, though. As we see Marco X now getting a run on Ben Bag going into turn 1. Will Ben Bag go defensive? He will. He's going to squeeze him towards the wall. They're going to be side by side. He's halfway alongside. Will he brake later? He does. Can he take it, though? Ben Bag on the soft tires. He seems to hold on. There's a contact between the 2 CSX drivers. That's going to cause Isaac to fall back. So 2 positions lost there due to the teammate contact. And Ben Bag will hold on to 5th place.
Good defensive drive from Ben Bag to hold Marco back.
A little bit of a punt there from Lunatic Punk, it looked like. Like in the back of Kleinsey a little bit, but I think he backed off and can hold position.
That was very good close racing in the first couple of corners.
See Isaac trying to find his way back by Lunatic Punk. He can't seem to do it. Lunatic Punk takes
late on the brake.
He's taking
late on the brake.
his lines are all wrong to try and find a way by. He's trying to pass as many people as he can, but he's compromising his speed on exits and entry by using these different lines trying to find these openings.
I mean, we know how much of a good driver Punk is. We saw it in this qual race, but I think he looks a little bit impatient in that battle. He wants to get up there and lead this pack.
12 minutes gone in this race, 48 minutes remaining. Let's have a look at the tire wear for the rest of the field back at the front. There's Alex Rogers and Dan's very similar in tire wear. Looks like Dan's slightly worse off, but he is a controller user, so to be expected. Behind them, we have Riche, actually similar tire wear on the mediums, but a little bit less than Dan, so he knows last quite a bit. We see Geronimo on the softs. There's his teammate Ben Bag, 5th also on the softs. We have Marco on the mediums. Kleinsky, Lunatic Punk, and Isaac. We see Lunatic Punk actually trying to make a move for that 8th place up the inside of Kleinsky in the last corner. He looks to get it done clean, and Isaac goes with him.
I was going to say, did he push Kleinsky out there at Hyundai? There was a little contact there. God, trying to get a side draft.
Trying to go up the inside. Will it work on Lunatic Punk? He gives him the room as we see Marco actually finding a way by Ben Bag there into turn 1. So Marco finally getting that gap that he needed to try and pull away. And it looks like Isaac does get it done, but maybe a little bit of a bump there. Checking up on the throttle as he splits both the CSX drivers. As Kleinsky looks to go up the inside here, but he's going to have the outside for the next corner. But he gets it done. Will he hold it? Or will Lunatic Punk come back at him? And they're still side by side, and Kleinsky will win it. Just look at the back of the shot. Look how much Vapor has closed because of how much in those last few corners they've been battling. So there we see Vapor now, or Vantage, excuse me, in 10th place, and that's his tire wear. We have Ruben actually very good on his medium tires so far, so he might be going for the 2-stop strategy. There we have Gadaz in 12th, Bert Tubin in 13th, and his teammate, with GTSV teammate, in 14th behind him. Arc still leads the way with Alex Rogers.
He's pulled away from Dan's by looks of it, 1.5 seconds, so Dan's made a mistake somewhere.
It does seem that way, and they have almost a 6-second gap over Reaching now, who has a 7-second gap over Geronimo, who has a 5-second gap over this battle for 5th place that is now led by Marco X.
Looking at the gap between 5th to 1st is nearly 20 seconds. If the ARC drivers come out, they might be, I don't know, but they could be just in this battle with 5th place, and that will hurt them a lot.
Roughly 15 minutes out of the way here, 46 minutes remain. Marco X goes to the wall as a defensive line to stop the draft from Ben Bag, but he's going to swerve back to the other side of the track. She's trying to break the draft on the car, and it seems to have worked, as Ben Bag not quite close enough to go for the dive bomb, but it's not going to stop him from trying, but it doesn't work.
I don't know, it always scares me when you go into the first corner how close they go on the brakes.
See some of the other drivers here in the back of this battle. We'll go on board with Kleinsky in this battle. Let's see if both these CSX drivers actually manage to catch up to Ben Bag. Because Ben Bag is... That's really why for Kleinsky, he might pick up a penalty from that one. No, he gets away with it.
No, it's not. No, he's got away with it. And it looks like Kleinsky's struggling. He didn't take a good line through Valvoline.
He seems to be struggling on those medium tires. The new tires aren't gripping when they need to. You see, it's just all tire spin. Now onto the Dunlop hairpin. Isaac wide, but trying to take the late apex. Not quite getting it though. It's going to cost him here.
I'm surprised the Benbag is not sort of caught up to who was that in 5th place? Sorry,
Marco.
I don't know if he's worn those has he worn those soft tyres as much? So it looks like he's going to be. Looks like it looks like Isaac is shaping up for the pass somewhere. Look at his tyres; they're definitely short, aren't they?
Yeah, they have a lot of wear, especially compared to Marco in front of him on the medium, almost twice as much wear. And there we see Isaac going, so we see Benbag making a mistake at the exit of. I want to make sure I get the corner name right here. Bilstein,
yep.
He seems to be struggling here. He's losing a lot of time now. He's not quite used to the worn soft tires.
Yeah, it looks like Benbag might be falling down the order here with those worn softs. Compare that with his teammate.
So is his teammate here in 4th place? About the same wear, about the same.
About the same. Look about the same.
Compared to the ARC drivers, and just look at Alex Rogers' tire wear compared to what the DRE drivers have. It's insane.
I think that's. I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but I think maybe the DRE drivers are on controls.
They might be. I have no way of knowing unless we happen to ask them. If anyone in the chat happens to know whether or not they are on controllers, we would like to know.
This midfield battle is so interesting. 5 people battling for the same place.
Clancy looked to the inside. They're not quite close enough to go for it though.
I think he was more of a case of trying to fake the Benbag out, and I think it may have worked. Because Benbag is really struggling on those softs. I think that could be a 3-stop strategy for DRE here.
I think roughly about the same here too. He needed to come closing right up on the braking, but that's going to cost him his line through Dunlop. But no, apex for him, tries to salvage it.
First pit stops, people on South will be coming in soon, so expect something to see.
I would expect the DRE boys to make a pit stop sometime soon. I wouldn't say Alex or Dan's will be making a pit stop yet. I'd say maybe another 4-5 laps or so.
Yeah, they gotta try and stretch that.
Isaac makes a mistake. Isaac makes a mistake and moves it. Punk makes a mistake. They both touch the gravel trap and lose time.
Geronimo is on the steering wheel and Benbag is on the controller.
Oh, okay then. Just interested to see if Benbag will make a pit stop now, or is he going to stay out? Another lap? Yeah, he's going to stay out.
Takes the defensive line though. Isaac wide through the corner. He's going to try and get the run at the exit. Not quite close enough to do it.
It's a nice free battle going on. It looks like they've sorted themselves out. Marco's freed himself from this battle for 6, sorry. And they'll go 3 wide.
Looks like Punk tries to get all of them. He's going to gain 1 just about. Side by side now.
I thought Lunatics actually lost control at Yokohama there. Look at it when he went on that bump.
He almost did, but Benbag does come back out on top.
You can definitely see softs are wearing for Benbag and he's holding up those other guys on the medium.
Clancy picks up actually another 1.5-second penalty. That is I believe, a corner cut penalty if I'm not mistaken. He actually might have to serve, unless it was contact. I think that was a corner cut right there. I think he actually cut it there on the
that's
inside.
a corner cut there. Yeah, he cut he shortcut 10-4.
Yep. So he will have to serve that penalty. Ooh, side by side actually they were. Didn't quite see it. Actually managed to get in front of him there through the Schumacher S. His teammate trying to have a go. Oh, they touch!
Oh!
Maybe he got pushed.
Oh yeah, I think his teammate definitely tried to dive bombed up the inside of both of them, and that's a mistake from Isaac here. As you can see, he just goes right the inside, late breaks, and just misjudges it, takes out his teammate.
That's the #1 rule in motorsports. You never take or hit your teammate.
And he's back in 11th now. He's lost even more time during that replay.
Yeah, maybe I have to burn another spun out.
And he's gonna make his pit stop now.
gonna be difficult to come back from that.
Well, Clancy and Geronimo are also making. Everyone's making their pit stop now on the mediums. Early stop for a lot of the medium drivers.
Interesting.
Do you think
So
they're gonna
this
go
to
to?
me, this feels like this is a free stop strategy. What they're doing.
It does seem that way, yes. Actually, I didn't see there. One of the drivers, when they made their pit stop, actually had 79% fuel left in their car compared to the 50 to 55% some of these other drivers had. I didn't quite see who that was.
I didn't see that too. I think that must have been a little glimpse, but I couldn't
Can
see
you
who
see
it was
that in the
exactly.
information of the car?
Can. I'm not quite sure if that. He might have refueled a little bit, though. That might have been what it was. I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look, see at fuel levels. Everyone seems to be roughly at
It's
half.
Dan's. Sorry there, but
It was
did I notice
Geronimo.
that Dan?
Maybe you
Oh,
refueled.
I think he refueled just a little
You
bit.
lost
Splash and dash.
seconds on the track.
was
Isaac-
Dan's on a fresh set of tyres?
He is. He's on the mediums.
Oh,
Yeah, he made the stop
he
to
made
the
a
mediums.
pit
He missed that.
He made the pit stop.
Did Alex?
Maybe Alex. Alex
yeah.
must have.
No, he didn't.
Interesting.
Oh, that's it.
It's gonna go now.
Going in now,
Yeah, he's
though.
gonna go now.
He had the gap. He tried to reuse the last of those tires to try and build a gap. Let's see what the gap is actually. So Ricci will take the lead from this, but he should come out in front of Marco X for fourth.
I mean, Dan's will be in the lead. Oh, he's just going on to mediums. So they haven't put more fuel in. Okay. Oh, hold on. Oh no, he stays on ahead of Dan's. My apologies.
Because Dan's didn't take any fuel. That's interesting. His pit stops are actually
Okay.
pretty short.
Right. Right. Okay. So they're going soft, medium, mediums. Then I'm guessing.
Let's see Rebembag and Lutic Punk come out. 38 minutes left in this race. A little bit of fuel going in the car. Away he goes. See what he refueled to, just a little bit under 75%. Just a bit of a splash and dash. Comes out 7th place. Let's see where everyone stands. So after the first round pit stop, Alex Rogers leads, followed by Dan's reaching in 3rd, Marco X in 4th, but I believe they both have yet to make their stops. Geronimo in 5th, Lunatic Punk in 6th, Bembag in 7th, Robin Hood in 8th, Clancy in 9th, who I believe, yes, he did serve that 1.5 second penalty. Advantage in 10th, Isaac in 11th, Gadaz 12th, Bertubin in 13th, and Devil Driver in 14th.
Must admit, my Belgian colleagues are not doing as well at the moment.
Everyone's fairly spaced out now, but not every driver has made their pit stop yet. Dan's currently the fastest lap at a 155.3.
Oh, but it rather be kicked off from Clancy just ahead.
So this does seem to be the closest battle on track. Some drivers on new tires, some drivers not. 36.5 minutes left to go. Let's see if there's some other battles happening on track here. They're actually, Dan's is close right up to the back of Alex Rogers, so perhaps a mistake from Alex there.
Dan did well by undercutting Alex. Yeah, he went in the lap earlier, so he had those fresh mediums to set a good lap on, and that gained a little time back on Alex to be back into the slipstream.
So I think the story here is, does Ricci and his teammate Marco X, when they make their pit stops, is the goal here to go for another set of mediums and save the softs to the end, or do you jump on the softs now and claw back that time you've lost?
I would go for the softs to try and catch up, because then when they make their pit stop, both ARC and IGTSH will be on the medium tires, and then it's just a straight shoot to the finish, wouldn't it?
I would have to agree with you, but I think Ricci is waiting too long to make this pit stop because they've already stopped for a new set of mediums, and look, in one corner alone, he lost roughly 4/10. I think he should have pitted earlier in reaction to what they would have done to keep this race alive for him.
Maybe he's going for a two-stop.
It's possible.
I was thinking maybe a two-stop for Ricci.
He has to cherish those tires. in that case.
But I mean, if I was Richie, I'd make the pit stop. Looking at his fuel and his tires, he should be pitting in this time by, and then go onto the soft tires and fuel it up. Maybe fuel it up all the way to the end, so then he'll have to change tires for his last pit stop, maybe.
He needs to make the pit stop soon because he's losing time, hand over
He's
fist.
got to be pitting now. He has to pit now.
No?
Oh, and it stays out again. This could be a mistake now.
Interesting.
Behind him, see what his teammate will do. He hasn't made his pit stop yet either. So they might be trying to go for that two-stop strategy, but it only seems if they can get another 14 minutes out of these tires, which would be a bit of a stretch. I don't know if the two-stop will work.
7 more laps. Oh man, that's really a lot.
It's gonna be tight though. But I mean, no matter what, it's been a great showing for my GTSH. Considering where they are in the drivers' points, this is what they need.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. This is a bollard in the middle of the track. You see Geronimo, the man who has made his pit stop, now onto the mediums after doing his one stint on the soft tires, currently in 5th. Chick Punk behind him on the mediums. So Chick Punk still has that set of softs in his back pocket he can use. We have Ben Bag, also another driver who used his one set of softs, currently in 7th, leading a pack here. We see Roman Hood behind him, Kleinsey and Vantage. Both these, yes, both GTRT drivers have also made their pit stops, but they also still have the set of soft tires in their back pocket as well.
I think Roman's actually done quite well, because I think before they make the pit stops he was done in 11th place. Now you see him in 8th place. So Roman now doing a solid job now.
Yeah, he's got the new set of mediums on. He's in the same stint as the driver in front of him who started on the soft tires. He still has the soft tires to go to, so they could salvage a pretty good finish, both these GTRT drivers, just on strategy alone.
Yeah.
I must correct myself. I'm sorry, Savaloy. It's a 2-stop that everybody's on, not a 3-stop. So the
okay.
IGTS, DHS guys are going for a 1-stop.
Yes, we can't count. Excuse us, Chad.
It's actually the chat that pointed me to it, so I think it's Jake then Harry. Thank you, Jake.
This battle for 7th place currently is the closest on track if you don't count the battle just up ahead, actually going to the Vidal chicane, which was for 6th, excuse me. Between Lutic Punk and Geronimo, both these drivers on the same tires, the new set of tires. Oh, but there we see Kleinsey. Actually, Roman Hood makes a bit of a mistake at the exit of the Vidal chicane, and we see Kleinsey going up the inside, and he will drop back to 9th place.
Roman made a mistake in the Vidal. See a replay.
I think he just...
Or maybe Kleinsey just had a good run.
It's possible. Actually, his CSX on the soft tires. That's what we should be checking.
Oh, possibly, yeah, because he looks racy, doesn't he? This Kleinsey. No, he's thin. So they're going for softs on the end.
That does seem to be the popular strategy. Whether or not it will be the fastest, we will find out, but Kleinsey definitely doing one heck of a job on those new set of mediums to try and close the gap.
Can we check to see if Richie's made a pit stop or has he still stayed out?
Richie has yet to make his stop.
Okay.
He's going there.
Well, he's already 13 seconds behind Alex Rogers and Dan's. Does anyone happen to know how much time you lose on a pit stop here?
Been stopping with fueling, yeah.
I would say about maybe 23 seconds, I'd say.
And then he has to do the same thing as well, huh?
Ronald's pretty good at that. Ronald's pretty good at calculating and stuff like that. Go on, Ronald, hurry up.
Get the maths, Rono.
Go on, get your pen and paper.
He's probably taking his calculator right now.
He's got like a pencil above his ear, like.
He's got like the pegboard with like lines of yarn connecting everything. With 15 seconds now between Richie and Alex Rogers. I don't know if the one stop is the best call here. He's 15 seconds and losing more time. Even if you do forego the one pit stop and go to the soft tires, that's still roughly 5 to 10 minutes on those tires you're currently on now. I don't know if that's the right call. His teammate Marco X is in the same boat. So IGTSH going for the long haul here, and we see in the background there how much Lunatic Punk and Geronimo have caught up to them on those worn medium tires.
Well, I just noticed when Geronimo was ahead of Lunatic, and now Lunatic's got ahead, so I don't know if Geronimo's made a mistake. It'd be nice to see what lap times it did if Geronimo made a mistake.
I think I can get the lap times up cutting away.
I don't think you can, no.
It does seem Lunatic Punk is closing the gap to Marco ahead of him, but has also gapped out Geronimo. Back behind him at 7 seconds to the next driver, back behind Geronimo, which is Clancy in 7th place, who's now ahead of Bembag, ahead of Roman Hood, ahead of Isaac, and ahead of Vantage. So there's another good mid-pack battle going on here for that 7th place. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you do see the penalties in some of these cars, but due to the current penalty system in Gran Turismo Sport and how we run our series, we will not be serving racing penalties for contact between drivers. We will do that post-race. However, drivers that do get penalties from cutting corners, that will have to be served in the race. So, as we see right now, 7.5 on Isaac. He does not have to serve that in the race. It will be looked at after the race should he need to serve that much time penalty or position penalty, etc.
Richie's now in 2 minutes.
I just have some inside information from Splico169 that Richie will do 4 more laps, but I think that was wrong since it's spitting right now.
Well, here we go, let's see how much fuel.
He'll fuel it all the way up, wouldn't he? Or maybe around about into the 90s, I'd say.
I'd say somewhere around 80, 75% would be ideal. There you go. Yep, around 80, 85%. So he comes out behind Lunatic Punk, who's now in 3rd.
Also, his teammate is pitted as well.
Yes, his teammate is also pitted, but he's going to come out. Where's he going to come out? He's going to come out there. We just see him coming out of the pits now. 11th. That's not the bet. You don't want to go from 4th to 11th in a pit stop.
Everybody has to make a pit stop, though. Take that into account, that everybody's going to pit in front of him, so he'll make a lot of positions. I am a bit scared he has to do like 13 laps on the stops, which is going to be difficult, I think. Full tank.
Well, we didn't calculate how many laps did DRE and ARC did on the soft tire run, but I'm pretty sure it was less than 13 laps.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is where the race is going to be on. He's going to try and find a way by Lunatic Punk as soon as he can. He needs to get by him ASAP.
Oh. Look at the closer speed there. He had to lift off, didn't he, through the Schumacher S's?
Try and late break him on the inside here. He can do it. Sticks his nose and not quite close enough. The Lunatic Punk, that could compromise his exit. He's going to have the outside through Bilstein. The Lunatic Punk holds on a bit of contact, a little bit of rubbing. He's going to have the grip due to his tires, and this is going to be the pass just now. So a bit of half a second penalty for the Lunatic Punk due to the contact there between the two. I think it was due to contact. But I wouldn't expect him to serve it here as we see Geronimo. Look at the closing speed of Geronimo. So this is now...
What's the cap then? 35 seconds, and also to note that both Alex and Dan's will have to make another pit stop.
26 minutes left in this race.
We'll see what he can do, what he can gain on this couple of laps, where he'll be faster than Dance and Alex because they are on more worn mediums.
He needs to push and push now.
He doesn't want to get caught up in the battle with Lunatic and Geronimo, that's for sure.
Definitely not. I don't think a lot of those tires.
Let's see what the gap is going to be after these next few corners, whether he's actually gaining or losing a lot of time. 35 flat now at the Mercedes Arena. He needs to gain almost a few seconds a lap if he wants to be in any contention for a win.
It's hard though, because if you're trying to do something like that, you've got to preserve the fuel and the tires to do that. And that's something that's very difficult to do. I mean, only Ruby was the master of doing that, as we call Ruby. What was it? What are you called again?
Pirelli Picasso.
Pirelli Picasso. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
man.
I was going to say Pirelli Picasso or
Don't tip
something.
over your tongue, boy. Oh, man. Legend.
But it must be quite hard to do when you're trying to pull away from the battle and forth and you're trying to catch the lead. How do you get to preserve tires and fuel?
It's difficult. You have to get on some kind of a rhythm, but on one hand you need to be conservative, and on the other hand you have to push. So it doesn't go both ways, right? You have to take one, but if you get into a rhythm, the pace will come eventually, right? Because the softs will lean them to it.
I mean, the only problem with this is obviously Richie will catch up to Alex and Dan's when they make the pit stop, but then the problem is the soft tyres will have worn out, and then he'll lose time to Alex and Dan's.
And that's what we saw going back again to season 1. Ruby, you were there. Kev, on the new set of soft tires, closed the gap down to roughly 5 seconds, then his soft tires fell off and he couldn't close the gap anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That was why I pulled a 1-stop when he did a 2-stop probably. Yeah.
He has set the fastest lap though, 1:55.250. So you can see he's giving it a go, but it's I think really third place is the best he can do.
Well, in a lap, as soon as he exits the Mercedes arena here, he'll know the gap. He's exiting the Mercedes arena last time around, it was 35 seconds, now it's 33.5. So, it's Lunatic.
Lunatic.
What did he do there?
I think he got a bit erratic in the exit.
What's happened here? He's going way wide on the AstroTurf, so he's unsettled the car here. It might have been. I think it's just on the throttle of the AstroTurf. The AstroTurf, it just. But he managed to
He
save
got
it.
that quite nice, actually.
Didn't hit the wall.
Yeah, nice save. It was a nice save, but that's a very weird way to. Well, he's lost the spot out to Geronimo.
And he has. So once again, these two are battling on track. Back behind them. Let's have a look at some of these other battles. We're sitting on 3 cars now for that 8th spot. As Roman Hood will lose 2 to CSX 96 and Marco X. Marco X once again on those soft tires. So Marco X is trying to find his way by these drivers now in front of him. Go for the outside. That's a bold move.
Hey, Isaac shut sort of there. There was a bit of a gap for the Hyundai to squeeze in that gap. Isaac shut that door.
He's making that Hyundai as wide as he can.
Oh, it's going to compromise him. It's compromised him. Here goes Marco, and he will take 8th place. Now he's got nearly 3 seconds to catch up on Ben Bag.
Close, but not quite touching.
That was close.
That's a lockdown 8th place, and now he sets his sights on Ben Bag, just as you said. Actually, Ricci, the 2-second penalty. What happened to Ricci? He's driving by himself here. So he must have got that in the chicane. So that's not contact. That's a 2-second penalty he has to serve. That's almost race over. He's 31 seconds. They still have to make 1 stop, even with this 2-second penalty. But he also didn't serve it on the start-finish straight, which was the penalty burn.
He's also got after Bilstein as well. That's another penalty burn. So
Brooks might need to take a bit of a look at that. We didn't quite catch when he got it, but we know he was alone by himself.
Geronimo's back end of Punk.
Did he pass the straight already? Pass the penalty zone?
He passed the penalty zone, but he's also got Bilstein after Bilstein to serve it.
Oh, we'll see. Maybe he can do them in the straight.
Oh, Dan's makes his pit stop. Dan's comes in.
So this will be Dan's Dan's last pit stop.
He has to refuel just enough to make it to the end. He currently has 8% in his car. Let's see what he does. Away he goes. What's the gap going to be? Not even close. Ricci's just now touching the Vidal chicane.
The gap now up to
And again with the undercut on Alex.
Yeah, I was going to say Richie's gap up to 35, and he has served that penalty.
Yeah, he did. Good job. I'm curious, guys. Hear me out. Alex and Dance, they have, let's say that they have plenty of lead compared to Richie. Are you gonna let them battle? You got a favorite for this?
I'll give it to Dance.
You know, my bum is firmly cemented on this fence here. And I'm not moving.
Well, as a team leader, would you let them battle? Because this is a TvT League, so the end result is the most important, of course.
Yeah.
But then there is that little individual pride that you want to have winning a race.
Yeah, but I've seen this before. I remember a touring car race, I think it was in 2011. It was like Gordon Shedden and Matt Neal, 1 and 2, last corner. Matt Neal just went to try and go for a pass on his teammate, and they both went off into the gravel, and both of them, like, they were both retired from the race. So I think it's a smart decision maybe to hold firm at the moment.
Well, let's say.
From a team perspective, I'm looking at it as a team perspective. You don't want to do anything silly.
Let's say the best
of
case.
course.
We see Alex Rogers making his pit stop. I was going to say the best case scenario is the 2016 Bahrain Grand Prix. The worst case scenario is the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, with the Mercedes and Verstappen won that race. That's true.
Oh, but that was the first lap that they caused them.
Yeah. That's worst case scenario is they both crash out. Best case scenario is we get some awesome racing like we saw between the Mercedes in 2016 in Bahrain.
Did Alex put less fuel in than what Dan's did? Looks like it's
a little bit. Roughly the same, but a little bit. But 3 seconds the gap. He's got newer tires, so can Daniels really push, or is he going to let him have it?
Well, Captain spoke in the chat, and he said they are not allowed to battle. So Rono spoke.
Yeah. See, that's the wisest choice. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You know, let the team finish 1-2 instead of them battling and messing each other up, and then allow Richie to close up a lot.
You can say that as the team leader all you want. As a commentator, I want to see you two.
I want to see colliding.
Give us something to yell about.
Right.
See, Lunatic Punk makes his final stop.
Simon stops now.
Yep, that's a 2-stopper for
Yeah.
Lunatic Punk. He's on the softs. So let's see how much time he can gain. Alex Rogers makes his stop. Once again, mediums, Dan's on mediums. And then Riche, 20 seconds the gap. I think he's pretty much locked into that 3rd place unless something drastic like a disconnect happens for Alex and Dan's.
But also, don't forget, those tyres will fall off the cliff. Maybe within the last 10 minutes. So Geronimo could smell a bit of blood in that 4th place.
But
Although he has to pit this time.
He does still have to make a pit stop.
Yeah, okay.
Marco has a 2-second penalty.
Oh, Marco 2-second penalty.
Not quite sure where he got that or how he got that. We'll see if he serves after Bilstein.
Give a shout out as well to Bert. We haven't talked a lot about Bert, but he's now in 8th place now, so good job there to Bert.
But he's got Lunatic Punk behind him, who's on the new set of soft tires now.
He's going to lose that 8th spot. Oh my.
It's a little sketchy, but he's going to go by. Actually, Bert may have stopped. No, he's going to make one this time by. Oh, he almost loses the rear end and he hits the wall.
Sorry, Bert. I didn't cause that.
I think he picks up some dirt here, going wide on the tires.
Was there contact there through?
It looked like there was in the replay. Just AstroTurf and away he goes.
And that's a hard tire barrier.
He picks up damage from it.
That's unfortunate.
Geronimo's in the pits.
He's away now. He comes right in front of Lunatic Punk, so it has worked out for Geronimo in these 2 cars battles, but he goes wide in turn 1. He breaks late. Lunatic Punk takes the position back. So the undercut. Ooh, contact! That's a big one. And as CSX Kleins looks to capitalize from both of them.
I was just about to say, Geronimo should still be on the mediums because he's already done his fresh set of spots.
So this is the on board from the helmet cam. He just tries to go up the inside. That's a huge miscalculation from Geronimo.
I think there was a gap that wasn't there. That was more like kamikaze than Geronimo.
Lapse of concentration, as he's now back in 8th place. Lunatic Punk still holding on to 6th, and Clancy separates them in 7th. So once again, in the closing stages of these races, these 3 drivers are once again battling for on-track position.
Are they all on softs?
Geronimo should be on mediums because he started on softs, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll drop back. It's difficult to keep up with the softs. You know, Lunatic Punk is.
Lunatic Punk and Clancy should both be on the soft tires.
That's gonna be a good battle.
Yes, that will be. Oh, little love tap there.
See his teammate Isaac in front of them. See if Clancy can find a way by Lunatic Punk. He's gonna get the draft going up to the lead-all chicane. Lunatic Punk
Look
goes
at the closing
defensive.
speed.
Gonna try and go the outside through the chicane. Not an easy move to make, but you can make it work. He doesn't.
Punk was saying, you're not getting through that.
Back at the front, Alex Rogers leads by 2.7, 2.8. Dan's in second. Enrique, the gap seems to have leveled out roughly at 19.8 seconds. 18 seconds to his teammate, who's now in 4th place. So some good solid points for IGTSH come this race. Isaac.
Marco still
Hello.
served that 2-second penalty.
He hasn't. But he might have got it. We don't know if he got it from contact with another driver. We didn't quite see. Stewards are going to have to take a look at that one.
I mean, Richie did also have a 2-second penalty. He served it, and this is exactly the same time that Marco's got.
Yeah, but he did serve it on that lap, and this has been roughly a lap or 2 since we saw him have it. Actually, here's the battle. Actually, they've caught up to Isaac now. So this is now battle for the 5th place on the podium. Lunatic Punk going to go around the outside. There's contact.
Oh, contact!
But contact from his teammate behind once again bumps him by, tries to keep the battle going. Actually goes out of the way. He concedes position to his teammate who is on the better, less worn tire.
Smart move.
Yeah, then Isaac and Clancy had a bit of a moment coming in towards this corner here. I forgot what it was now.
But looking at
That's
Isaac's
yeah.
tire wear, he's got 13 minutes left. He can't make a 3-stop.
No, look at those rear tires. They have gone. No, he's got to make another pit stop here. Be safe rather than being sorry.
Yeah, indeed. If you make a pit stop, you can still make up some places, but being on bad tires, you can only lose spots. You see how?
Yeah, and he comes in now. He comes in.
He's listening.
Words of wisdom.
But let's see what can happen here between these two. This is still a battle for position. 12 minutes on the left in the race. Clancy's going to look to the inside into turn 1, but he's way far back. Not quite going to go for it.
I tell you what, Punk has had a pretty much exciting race. I think he's had contact from all of the races except from Alex and Dan's.
I mean, pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised there's a little bit of paint from every car on that car by now.
Probably a bit of door paddle from CSX, and then some bumper on GTRT, and then some DRE contact
And
somewhere.
when you compare his performance to his teammate, who's in 13th,
Oh, and Devil Driver's way back here. He could be nearly lapped here. Actually, he's just going towards the Vito chicane, isn't
he's
he?
about to be.
Yeah.
But just the back of this shot, there's the ARC drivers, Alex Rogers.
So
GTSV,
Devil
when
Driver really...
they needed these points, and they didn't quite field the best drivers for this race.
Oh, but it is a tough field out there. I mean, GTSV needed a good finish because they come into this with only 1 championship point, and I think it's like 1st and 10th you get points. So looks like both of their drivers are getting nil point here today, unfortunately.
It's difficult because you have to field these 8 drivers, and they can't all 8 be super good drivers. So you're going to decline in quality at the end. I mean, it's difficult.
But you never know. They may have their best drivers come up for the next 2 races at Barcelona and Sport.
Yeah.
So you never know.
It's very, very true. As we just see Alex Rogers in the back of the shot there, closing in on Devil Driver, the Belgian. Get my flags right now.
Ah,
There's the other Belgian, Barthuben. Bert.
No, it's German actually.
It's you pronounce it Hauben.
Hauben.
Berthauben. Okay, I'm learning. We're learning here on ARC today.
Hey, today on ARC we're learning Dutch.
ARC school.
There we see Ben Bag back at 11th place. He'll be on his medium tires now. Isaac actually back in 9th place. There we see just in front of the shot there. Roman Hood in 10th. Isaac in 9th. So his tires have fallen. Actually, no, he made the pit stop, so he's got a new set of tires on. That's correct.
He's on the chase.
So we got Vantage
Now is
in
he
front of
now?
him.
Is Isaac on the mediums? Because we did.
That's Vantage. Yes, he's on the mediums. He has to be on the mediums.
He's on the mediums.
He usually
Okay,
puts
that's
in
good.
softs. So he's going to try and catch up to Vantage, who will be on the worn softs by now. So this could fall into Isaac's hands a little bit.
I keep saying it because from last week's race, from the Mazda race, I noticed Beckham was on the softs and then he pitted for a new pair of softs and he got heavily punished for it.
It is, yeah, it's quite heavily punished.
Geronimo in 7th place. Klein C ahead of him. Lunatic Punk in 5th place. Who actually gapped out Klein C quite heavily. It actually seems to be closing in on Marco X.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the soft tyres are really hurting now because he's really catching Marco with a hurry.
His tires are still good to go. He's got 2 seconds of that gap, so it could be a 4th place finish for Lunatic Punk here. Looking at the gap between Ricci and Tanz is leveled out, still 20 seconds both ways, so he's pretty much locked into that 3rd spot, but the only one that seems to be up in the air is actually 4th place, but Marco X makes another pit stop.
Interesting. The stint deemed too long to be driven on softs alone, so he has to intervene.
So that's going to be some bad points for IGTSH. I mean, he knew his corner was up to Lunatic Punk at that point, but he still could have salvaged 5th place points. When he comes out here, who's he going to come out behind?
It's a short pit stop.
He's still going to come in 5th.
Yeah,
place.
that's okay. It's alright.
Just set a medium, so about what he would have finished either, but now he can actually defend his position. So fair play to Marco X. That's a good call on his part. Let's see if Alex Rogers has yet to lap Devil Driver. Not quite yet.
It's getting closer. Vantage there in 8th for GTRT. I would have thought his teammate would have been a little bit higher up, but not to be. But Vantage doing well for GTRT.
So do you think Devil Driver is going to go over weight, get the blue flags, and actually move out of the way? Or is there going to be a Maldonado and Lewis Hamilton and Valencia?
I hope not. I think Devil could be smarter than that.
Well, we will find out here. You can just see the car there, and he's closing quite exponentially, actually. The new set of medium tires on his Hyundai.
It's nice to see the ARC drivers still in one shot, not a couple of seconds apart. Even this far into the race, it means that there's little difference between both of them. It's good quality.
5th place, Marco Kleinze in 6th. Geronimo in 7th. Vantage in 8th. Isaac in 9th. Roman Hood in 10th. And we see Ricci making a pit stop.
Oh.
Yeah,
This is basically a free pit stop.
Yeah, that is true. That's indeed a good call, yeah.
Yep, comes out handily in front of Lunatic Punk. Just
Like I mentioned, it's better to be safe than to risk a mistake and then maybe lose a place or 2.
And it is just under 7 minutes to go, as there was a bit of a, it looked like a bit of a mix-up there on the leaderboard, but I think everything leveled itself out. So Marco X is going to be pretty much locked into that 5th place now. He made a pit stop for new 7 tires. He's going to pull away from Kleinze in 6th, who is on the soft tires, and he's still got some life left in that. Geronimo, who's on the mediums, won't be able to catch Kleinze in front of him, but Vantage may actually be able to catch Geronimo. He's on a new set of soft tires, so this could be a battle for position here.
Yeah, he did run extremely wide at Yokohama, but he is closing a bit on Geronimo. Obviously, Geronimo on those medium tires.
And Isaac behind him, but on actually a new set of mediums, so Isaac on his pit stop trying to catch up to this. So this could be a 3-car battle for 7th place. So both the ARC drivers actually making the way by Devil Driver fairly cleanly, no incident. That's good to see. 2.5 minutes remaining now. Let's see if this battle for 7th place starts to develop. Every driver's made their pit stops, but Isaac goes wide at the exit of the Dunlop hairpin, and that's going to hurt him.
He's got only 3 more laps to try and pass in GTRT car. 0.7 seconds behind.
Looks like Vantage actually does seem to be closing on Geronimo. 1.2 entering that corner. Now it's 1.1. So it's slowly closing on his soft tires, but he's got to make it fairly quick, otherwise his tires are going to fall off that cliff.
Isaac must be hoping for GTRT Vantage to make a small mistake so he's not in that slipstream of Geronimo, because as long as Vantage is in that slipstream, it'll be difficult for Isaac to overtake Geronimo.
But he also could be hoping for his tires to fall off that cliff. If you look at his tire wear, they still have a little bit to go, but they're going to start to lose pace in the next few laps, but only 4 minutes remaining. It's going to be close.
He's coming closer. They're all coming together on that final lap. It's going to be
8 tenths between Vantage and Geronimo, 1.4 between Vantage and Isaac. And Roman Hood, the next driver, just behind them with a, let's see if we can get the time here, it's 5.2. So Roman Hood, I don't think, is going to close up to this battle here. Basically just a battle for 7th place currently. 6 tenths now the gap, so Vantage is closing. Closing is one thing, finding a way by is another.
It's very close now, you can see within half a second. I think he might make a move down the chicane at the end of this lap.
Be careful on the throttle. Feather up. Closest he's ever been now, 2 tenths the gap. Isaac's closing too, he's within a second. Looks to the inside, doesn't quite close enough to get it done.
I don't think that was the right move to be there. I think you should have just waited a bit and go to the Fido chicane, and that was where you could have made the pass. Although Geronimo runs a little wide.
You see just in the mirror just how close Isaac is now. He's within 4 tenths.
I think it was more a move to make Geronimo a little nervous though.
Late
Keep
braking.
his nose in it.
Starting to miss his apexes here. He feels the pressure from Isaac behind him.
Oh yeah, he is within touching distance now, isn't he?
Too far to make a move.
Basically, what is it now? What, 2 laps to go until the end of this race? 2 minutes and 30 on the clock.
Yeah.
It's getting closer. The steering input. Wow, man, the understeer.
Definitely struggling to try and keep that car, tell it where to go. He's doing an excellent job to hold on to where he is.
People are rooting for Vantage.
I'll tell you what, he's got a good run because Geronimo had a different line through 4. Vantage had the better line.
He's close now. He's real close. They get the
He's
run
got to
in
do
the
it to
Dunlop.
Dunlop. He's got to have the run. He's got it. Good exit
Geronimo goes
now.
defensive. He sticks the car in the middle of the road. Not quite. Leaves it open. Will he go late break? No, he moves over at the last second.
Yeah, Geronimo had that scouted.
This is it. They're going to have one more lap after this to sort this out. Here he goes now. He's looking up the outside, but that's a move that's hard to make.
He's trying it.
Ooh, Isaac almost came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good battle here. I'm liking this.
He's careful not to do that to
Here
Isaac,
comes
though.
Isaac. Yeah, that's the problem. This is the problem now with being stuck in the middle in a 3-car battle. If you try and make a pass on the guy ahead, the guy behind can take advantage of it.
Sticking the car in the middle of the track, forcing him to pick a side, but he goes wide to the hairpin. They all go wide in they all go wide in the chicane. He goes up the inside of Geronimo, who loses out, who cuts most of it. Neither of them pick up a penalty from him. That's kind of surprising, but Vantage goes through. Geronimo almost loses the rear end, but now Isaac can capitalize. He's trying to put 2 wheels on the grass.
On the outside, Geronimo. Jeez Louise, man.
Isaac and Geronimo side by side trying to fight for advantages. Draft going to go towards Geronimo.
So I think Vantage on those softs, I think he will run away with it. If he can clear the slipstream
Most
before the
likely.
chicane.
I would say most likely unless he makes a mistake. We've seen mistakes happen when drivers are on their own. More tires.
Anyway, 5 seconds to go to the end of the race. Alex has hit the Vito chicane, so it looks like it's going to be another win for ARC.
It looks to be one more corner to go. Don't pull the Ethernet cord out just yet. As he rounds the last corner, and once again, it's going to be ARC taking a victory. The Team versus Team League with Dan's coming home in second place. Solid points for ARC across the board, but IGTSH Ricci will be coming home in third place. So some good recovery points for them that they definitely needed. As he goes to the Vidal chicane now. Lunatic Punk in fourth place. A great drive from him. Started, I believe it was 7th place and just worked his way throughout the pack. So fast drive from him. Marco X strategy not quite working out, cost him a position in the end. Finished 5th place. We have Kleinzy in 6th, so some solid points for CSX. Then we have Vantage, who will seems to come home in 7th place ahead of Geronimo, with Isaac in 9th. So a mistake from Isaac towards the end there, it seems, though. Gonna drop him back to just in front of Roman Hood, who seems to be coming home in 10th place. We have Berthuben in 11th.
Hauben.
And we have Bembag, who seems to be coming home in 12th place. And Gadaz in 13th, with Double Driver being the next driver to already have crossed the line. So you see him all crossing the line now. Actually, Roman Hood finished, because penalties and stuff, so that will be fixed post-race. That'll all be fixed post-race, as it seems to have had every driver other than 2 have crossed the line. But that will be your finishing order. Again, some penalties have been applied because of how things worked out, so that'll all be fixed. So this is the unofficial results, just for those of you. And there you have it. Alex Rogers comes home with Dan's in 2nd place. Some more solid points for ARC and the Team versus Team League. Congratulations to Alex Rogers. Up the race results, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Rogers 5 seconds over Dan's, Ricci in 3rd, Lunatic Punk 4th, Marco in 5th, Kleinzy in 6th, Vantage 7th, Geronimo 8th. There should be Isaac in 9th, but because of penalty is Roman Hood in 10th, Bertuben 11th, Bembag in the 12th, but I believe that might be another mix up with the penalties. I believe it was Bembag in 11th, Bertuben in 12th. Am I mistaken there?
No, I don't think that didn't have a penalty, I don't think.
Okay. Gadaz 13th and Devil Driver in 14th. So there are your finishers today, ladies and gentlemen. What heck of a screen to come back on there after the end of the race.
Yeah, I was just about to say that there. Lovely. What good timing
I'm
that
sure
is.
he's probably thinking that to himself right now. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here in the Team versus Team League Round 2. Quite an exciting race. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us here from Nurburgring. My name has been Lateral G.
I've been myself alone.
And ARC Ruby. It was a pleasure.
It was definitely a pleasure having you boys in the booth once again. The next Team versus Team League race is on the 15th of March, and that will be Ferrari 458 Italia on Circuit de Catalunya. And once again, don't forget to like and subscribe to the stream. If you want to check out our merch, it's teespring.com/adrenaline racing community. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, it's all there if you want to help support ARC. We also have our donation link in the Discord. Discord is in the description as well if you want to join or are interested in joining. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here. And remember, keep racing.